Namaste, this is Jo from Return to the Self, and today I'm talking about the final few weeks of pregnancy. Um, week 37 is considered to be medically term. So, the due date of the pregnancy is a different date. That will be like the 40-week period, but term is considered when the baby is, when if they were born in a hospital, for example, there would be no scenario, and they would be treated the same as a woman in week 40. So week 37 is this medical terminology for the baby being term. So um, in prenatal yoga classes, you actually meet quite a lot of women who are in this final stage of pregnancy. And I've even had women who have, because they've been working up until 37 weeks, they haven't actually been to a class, and suddenly they've given themselves the 3 week window to prepare for their baby, which is optimistic. It's never too late. But the time period in this final lead up to the birth of the baby is absolutely the most critical time in a woman's life. So the investment in yourself at this time is so important. So, working right up until that due day is really not advisable, because you can do a lot to really have your focus internal and downwards at that stage, to ease the transition and to give your body the signals it needs to efface and dilate, or allow the baby to enter the space where it's preparing for arrival on this planet. So it's a very sacred time, and a time where the woman is best served by really being within herself. So serving the world at this time through your own actions and work isn't the best time to do that. It's far better if you can really be the queen. So being served by others is very important. Being able to find private space, and not traveling, for example. That basically having no pressure or no demands on you. When it comes to teaching women in late pregnancy, it's birth preparation, it's preparing for birth. And often when I teach private clients at that stage, I don't get them to stand up. Why? Be strong, basically the strength of the physical body at that stage. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about what you've done for the months and the years before that stage, and that's what counts. So you don't need to work on strength right at that point. Forget it. You don't need to work on flexibility, but positions which encourage the baby to descend in, if they are in the optimal birthing positions to encourage the baby to descend and for the head to engage even more, are really helpful. So we're talking about, for example, the classic opening poses, the malasanas, and this kind of stuff. So the other aspects of pregnancy yoga and is to prepare the pelvic floor for birth. We often do work with that lifting, engaging, and releasing. So enabling the pelvic floor to be strong, but also to be able to release. And all of that work is really beautiful during the pregnancy. But once we get to like the 37-week period, the energy shifts. It might not be 37 weeks, but around that time, the energy starts to shift, and the woman will really notice if she's tuned in. So this energy is called apana in yoga. So apana is the downward flow. So any kind of physical Downward flow, so it's our excretion, our bowel movements, that's apana. Menstrual cycle blood, that's also apana. And the lead up to birthing and birthing are also apana, downward energy. So this is our ultimate rooted, grounded, and earth energy. So I encourage women to get into nature. So, if you can like connect to the earth. This is my little garden in Bali. So if you can connect to the earth, be in nature, put your feet in the earth. That's a beautiful experience for a woman in late pregnancy. What you don't want to be doing is you don't want to be lifting and exercising, Kegel exercises, however you want to call it. You don't want to be doing that in late pregnancy because the body is preparing to go downwards to birth a baby. So it's all about groundedness. It's about earth energy, connecting to nature, not standing on your head. Maybe you can do it. Great. Maybe you can just know that you can do it. You don't have to prove anything to the world. It's not a pregnant woman can do anything up until, and many women who are strong and flexible can do pretty much anything up until the point of birth. There's a famous Ashtanga vinyasa teacher who stood on her head the day before she gave birth for like 10 minutes. That photo's in the studio, and it's not to say that that's wrong, but I like to focus on what's more agreeable to the energy of that time period, which is apana, which is downward movement. So, really this, we learn this in our menstrual cycle. So in menstruation, if you learn to ground, to give your blood back to the earth, to be connected to nature, to rest, and to open to the universal flow, then we can transfer that into birth. Ziggy, my dog is making silly noises. Ziggy. So that is transition from maiden to mother. And yeah, encourage your pregnancy clients to engage with that energy. This is very Mother Earth goddess time, so see how it works when you share this understanding and knowledge with your clients. And you cutting the ego is quite important at this stage, because you're just about to enter an absolute radical transformation. And if you're desperate to do a headstand the day before you have a baby, no doubt you're also going to be desperate to do that a couple of weeks after the birth, which could be, you really need to tune in to the massive life change which you're entering in a positive way, and embrace the change rather than sort of that kind of resistance and, I can do it still, I can still do it kind of mentality, which, yes, you're strong. Yes, you're a yogi. Yes, but that's not the point. You're kind of missing the essence of this life stage. So apana, late pregnancy, and by far the most critical period to get your to be supported by professionals. Go to the acupuncture sessions, go to the prenatal classes, get the support of your community. Don't do anything for anyone else, and certainly don't go to work. And it really makes a difference. And your the time and investment you put into your just before you birth the baby is essential, and makes a huge difference to the outcome, which could save you months and maybe years in your recovery. So invest in that time and tune into this knowledge and sacred time of your life. So namaste from Bali, and let's see, namaste from Ziggy up there. Ziggy, where's Ziggy? Ziggy's been making a lot of noise. Ziggy, yeah, there's Ziggy. Okay, so lots of love and Jai Ma.